It's 2023. I'm seated on the floor in the middle of my messy room. After crying for the past 5 minutes, my laundry had piled up. I had about 6 different bags of food that I'd ordered over the past week by my kitchen sink. This is not who I am. I have spoken at dozens of conferences and had taught thousands of students from across the globe. I am focused, goal-oriented, and stylish. What was going on? I was confused, unsure, and anxious about my career. I am the person who helps others find career clarity. But here I was, totally confused. I had just moved to the United States 4 months prior to begin my graduate program here at Stanford, and things got very busy very fast. I had to jump right into classes, and I had to figure out things like how to open a bank account or where to get groceries. And in the midst of all that, I developed a new habit. Anytime I felt anxious or overwhelmed, I'll order ice cream on DoorDash, and I'll open my Netflix app, and I'll spend an unhealthy amount of time on it. Not like I was watching anything particularly interesting. On this particular day, I was watching this old European TV show, and I also had a final project that contributed to 40% of my final grade that was due in an hour. And I would find myself constantly gaze to the bottom right corner of my laptop and see as the minutes go by, but I couldn't bring myself to stop watching the show. Eventually, the deadline passed. I dragged myself out of bed. I pace. I ask myself, what am I doing? I had a plan. I applied to grad school with a goal to advance my work in helping people navigate their careers, but here I was wasting away all my valuable time. About a week before this incident, I remember having a group lunch with other grad students, and I randomly mentioned that I was addicted to Netflix. And one of the students in that group was like, I'm at Stanford. There is so much happening at Stanford. How can I be wasting my time at Stanford? How can I be wasting my time on Netflix? It slapped. And I knew that I needed help. So I decided to book a therapy session for the next morning. And the day came, I woke up at 7 a.m. after watching Netflix until 3 a.m. And I had a bath, and I found something decent to wear from my pile of laundry waiting to be washed. And I biked to the therapist. I remember walking into the therapist's office and welcomed with this big, beautiful smile by the receptionist. And I felt like she saw me. It was like she knew that I wasn't myself. Maybe because she has interacted with a lot of people, patients in my situation. And there was this bowl of candy on her desk, and I asked her if I could take one. And she was like, you can take as many as you want. Well, she directed me to the waiting area. And that waiting area was like a square cubicle with chairs around the corners. And I took my seat, and I saw 2 other people there. And ironically, they were both wearing black hoodies. About 7 minutes, after sitting in the waiting area, I had someone call my name, Khaulat. I looked up and I saw this woman wearing a black mask, and it felt like that black mask felt like just this big wall between us. And I followed her into her office, and as I sat across from her and listened to her going through the protocols, I zoned out and looked at the blue sky over her head through the window behind her. And it felt like God reaching his hand out to me, calling me to him. She asked me a question that jolted me back into the room. When did you start feeling anxious? She asked. And as I looked up at her, looked up at this mask in front of me, I knew I was in the wrong place with the wrong person. What was I doing here when I had not prayed in 4 months? Where did it all go wrong? I managed to get through that session, and as I slowly biked back home, I realized that it didn't just happen in that moment of 4 months ago. It slowly happened in the lead up to my move to the United States. Immediately I got home, I found my box that had come with me all the way from Nigeria to the United States, and I brought out the prayer mat. And this was my mom's most cherished prayer mat. And as I laid it on the ground, it smelled like home. And I really love this prayer mat. The reason why I managed to bring that hefty, thick thing all the way to the US is because it felt very comfortable, and it's also very fluffy. And as I touched it, I just fell to the ground and I cried my heart out to God. And by the time I got up, I felt and knew that everything was going to be okay. I didn't instantly just become a changed person. Yes, I deleted Netflix immediately from all of the places I watch it, like my phone, laptop, everywhere. But I found myself a week later being a consistent customer of Amazon Prime Video. And I paired that with a whole lot of doom scrolling on social media. But this time it was different because now I was in a better place, building a better relationship with God, and I was becoming a more reflective person. And slowly but surely, my addiction began to go away. And now anytime I crave ice cream, I just order an acai bowl. It's the same thing. So this experience has really brought me closer to my students' experiences and the challenges they go through. And in a way, it's kind of a blessing. And it has also changed my philosophy and the way I approach career counseling. I have found balance and clarity in my life and in my role as a grad student and as a career strategist and an educator. As for my final project, I never got to finish it, even though I had the most wonderful professor that kept giving me extensions, but I wasn't able to complete it. I'll be taking it next quarter. I'll be retaking the whole course, and I'm thrilled about it with my new energy and excitement. And thank you for listening.